and ask those behind him not to interrupt him.
Wait for the clock.
As soon as you start, you'll be right.
Thank you. My question is to the Prime Minister. Before the last election, the Prime Minister promised to deliver the NBN to all Australians by the end of this year. However, internal documents leaked to the Sydney Morning Herald today reveal the Prime Minister's second-rate copper NBN is in crisis.
The member for Blackstone
and has failed to meet even a third of its internal rollout target. So, will the Prime Minister finally accept responsibility for the mess and the chaos he's done to the NBN?
The Minister for Immigration. Well, the minister will just resume his seat. He doesn't have the call yet. Before I call the Manager of Opposition Business, members on my right, I'm just going to point out before I call the Manager of Opposition Business that the practice of a Prime Minister referring questions to other ministers is as old as question time itself. There's a good section in the practice on it, but I'll hear the Manager of Opposition Business.
No, and Mr. Speaker, I respect that refers to when the policy area can be better answered by the line minister. When the question is, does the Prime Minister take responsibility for something, how on earth can the minister have a better idea than the Prime Minister?
The Manager of Opposition Business will resume his seat. The member for Bass will cease interjecting. I don't think all the other members of the House would appreciate us having a long discussion on the practice. I was reading it earlier. I don't have it with me. This folder's getting rather thick, but I can assure you it's in there. I'm going to call the minister.
I will tell the Shadow Minister what we take responsibility for. What we take responsibility for is delivering the NBN. What we take responsibility for is 1.775 million premises which are now able to connect to the NBN after the pathetic, the hopeless, the desperately incompetent legacy that we inherited from Labor, where barely 300,000 premises could connect. And the Shadow Minister seems to think it's some kind of smoking gun that NBN works through contingencies and monitors progress against its targets. I'll tell the Shadow Minister, based upon experience working in a large telecommunications company, an experience shared by the Prime Minister with his experience as one of the leading investors in telecommunications in this country, an experience shared by many of the people on this side of the House who have serious business experience and know about what it takes to deliver a project as opposed to making grand and empty promises. What you do when you're serious about delivering a project is that you constantly monitor your performance. You constantly look at contingencies. You constantly say, how are we doing? And I'll tell you how the NBN is doing. We are getting on with rolling out this network. We are already in a position where 1.775 million premises around the country are able to connect, and the rollout is continuing under a capable, competent, experienced board and management team, none of which existed when this government came to power. We are on the job. The NBN is getting the network rolled out. We stand by it and we're proud of it.